Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Rowe. I am a certified life coach, co-founder of the movement From Fat to Finish Line, which came about because of a documentary film I also co-produced and was in. You can still see this film From Fat to Finish Line on Amazon Prime if you'd like. I think it streams for free. A lot of people say it's very motivational, and it's actually very special to me because it's really a big part of my journey and the reason why I've become a life coach. Through that journey of my own running journey, weight loss journey, I really have been able to battle some of my own demons and flaws when it comes to negative thinking, when it comes to thoughts that hold me back from achieving my goals. So it was really important to me to be able to not only help myself, but to help others. And that's why I'm here. So each week on this YouTube channel, I come to you guys and I answer questions from whoever submits them. Questions I think that will help a lot of other people. And this week's question I thought was really great because, especially for this time of year, I think a lot of us kind of struggle with the same kind of things. So let's get right to it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. First of all, let's see, share screen. Here we go. And here we go. Share screen. And I'm going to go ahead and start the playing of the PowerPoint. So again, my name is Jennifer Rowe. I'm a life coach, and I really am enjoying getting to chat with you every week. And please make sure to send me your questions. This week's question, without further ado, is from a really good friend of mine, Gwen. She says, "Hi, Jen. My problem is I get bored with the same routines I do at home in the winter months." Unhappy face. "I do dance videos, treadmill, weights, but just can't seem to get into routine and keep it. Any suggestions?" Well, I really love this question because I think this is a massive problem for a lot of us, right? I mean, I think winter months, summer months, spring months, it doesn't really matter what time of year it is. We often do get bored with our exercise routines or anything we have to really do that's getting us towards a goal, right? So the first thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is creating routines here and what does it mean to be bored. Okay, so the first thing to recognize is, and I speak about this a lot, that feelings are what creates our actions, and our feelings come from our thoughts, right? So the only way you can really like start to tackle this is, first of all, recognize that boredom, being bored, is merely a feeling, and the only way we're going to be able to like work on that feeling is to change our thought, right? So when you think about working out, what are some of the things that might come up in your head? I know for me, it's like, I don't feel like doing it. My brain wants to do more fun things like scroll social media or watch TV. And the problem with that is that just simply doesn't get us to our goals, right? So first of all, just acknowledge that this is normal. Like, we don't need to beat ourselves up over this. We don't need to feel like there's something wrong with me. I mean, this is completely normal. I mean, our brains want to protect us and keep us doing, the lowest amount of effort possible. And this goes back to, caveman days where we had conserve energy. So, just one of the many thoughts and feelings that are going to come up for us might be boredom. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes it's, this feeling of overwhelm that I've got so many other things going on. So whenever our brain offers anything like that, you just have to kind of remind yourself, okay, this is very normal part of things, right? It's not always going to feel exciting, right? So if you want to really start to work on the feeling of boredom, the best thing you could do is start to work on changing that thought, whatever that thought is that's causing your feeling of boredom. So again, your feeling of boredom might be coming from just like, I don't feel like it, even like, I just don't feel like working out, right? So we got to work on that thought. If you can work on the thought, maybe try to change it to something like, I'm so lucky to get to move my body no matter what the weather is. Or working out makes me strong and I love feeling strong. It might give you a little bit more of a feeling of motivation versus boredom. I mean, and sometimes it's even as easy as just saying like, listen, I hear you, Gwen. Working at home is something that's boring, but that's okay. We just do it anyway, which actually leads me to a next big, point I want to make here. So Nike says, just do it, right? Sometimes we have to realize that things just aren't that fun. You know what I mean? And it's okay to be bored. It's okay for not everything to be a party, right? It's just part of life. When I have to wash my dishes, it's not fun. It just isn't. I'm bored thinking about washing dishes. But this is just part of what we have to do. And what I love about, I was watching a Mel Robbins podcast recently on motivation. And this is why I go to this Just Do It logo that Nike has. And, she was talking about like why this is really important. Like this is such an effective logo because why? Some people would argue that, the most important part of this logo is the do word, right? Because that, indicates action. And some people would argue that the most important part of this word is it, right? The logo is it, right? Because that's what you're actually doing. But really, the most important part of this logo is the word just, right? Because Nike recognizes that sometimes going out for the run sucks, and sometimes going out to lift weights or do whatever it is you have to do sucks, right? So just do it. And there's a power in this word just. And the way I use it in my life is a lot of times when I'm feeling bored or unmotivated, I tend to it could be because I'm looking for like the big action, right? Like when I was training, right? Maybe my training would be like a 10-mile run, right? And I'd be feeling super unmotivated or super bored just thinking about it. And then I would boil it down to, can I just? And sometimes it's as simple as, can I just put my sneakers on today? Can I just go for a walk? Can I just run for, you know, 3 miles, or can I just run for 5 minutes? Like, what can I just do? And I think this is really important because and I talk about this in other episodes, the important thing here is building the momentum, right? Like we spoke about in the last episode, like next obtainable win. Like the biggest thing about that concept is getting momentum, right? We're going to be hard pressed to ever have motivation just fall out of the sky on our head. So we have to create it. So the way I like to do this is, whether it's through the now method or just asking myself, what can I just do, right? And then the other thing is when you just do something, there's such a power in it, especially when you don't want to do it. Did you ever like be in a circumstance or a situation where you didn't feel like doing shit? You didn't feel like doing the thing, and then you did it. And it's like, first of all, when you do that, you're keeping promises to yourself, which really builds self-esteem. It proves to yourself that you can make a promise to yourself and keep it. And then secondly, oftentimes when we're done doing the thing, we feel great, even doing the friggin' dishes, right? Like, I mean, when I'm done doing it, it feels nice to have a nice clean sink. It's nice to have an area without looking at it and feeling like messy and overwhelmed. So the two things there are just doing it really is a matter of sometimes just doing it and then reminding yourself you're going to feel good afterwards, because sometimes later on the reward comes later, right? And what happens when you don't do it? You don't feel great, right? So the next step is that we need to start to go back to our why, right? When you feel bored or you're feeling like procrastinating something, it's like often it's because the why has left the building. Like, in the back of your mind, like, yeah, I want to get healthy, I want to gain weight, or I want to get in shape, or whatever it is, right? But keeping the why really like front center and like in the middle of your chest, so to speak, is what's going to keep you going when you really don't want to, when you really are feeling bored and you don't really have a routine. So for me, like my whys for my own health journey include, I want to be healthy. I'm 51 years old now. So I like go for my blood work every, so often. And so far it's been good, but I'm waiting, I don't want to wait for the shoe to drop. I don't want to wait for a doctor to tell me I have some kind of medical condition that now I have to kind of undo. So for me, like a why for me is I want to be healthy and I want to have a great quality of life while living a long, healthy life. I also want to feel confident. Like for me, when I'm carrying extra weight, when I'm not at the weight I like to be around, I don't feel good about myself, and I just don't. I don't feel as confident. I don't feel as attractive. And when I don't feel confident, I feel down. And when I feel down, I take fewer actions to get towards my goal. So it's really important for me to keep that confidence up. And again, confidence also comes from, doing the thing you don't want to do, right? So it's not even just the body, you know what I mean? It's also the mind. It's the mental and emotional benefit of going ahead and doing stuff. So for me, like, that's a big why. And yeah, I want to feel more comfortable. It's hard for me to feel comfortable when my jeans are too tight. It's hard for me to feel comfortable when I'm sitting in a small airplane seat and I'm rubbing my hips against some stranger. I just don't feel comfortable, right? And it's like those little things, like, I can't ignore, you know what I mean? So for me, that's a big why for me. So I keep these whys really strong because I journal about them. I create mantras. I read about them daily. When I'm feeling a little bored or unmotivated, I really kind of remind myself of these whys. And I really think it's important for you to do that too. And your whys might be completely different. And if this is not about working out for you and it's about something else, if it's about looking for a new career, if it's about having a more loving relationship, again, you have to like really kind of work out what your whys are in order to keep yourself strong and from falling into a thought pattern of being unmotivated or bored. And then last but not least, when it comes to this, it's really important that you really like catch the other thoughts that will compromise your whys. Like, you know what, missing this one workout won't matter anyway. And you know what, a lot of times I don't follow through, or this doesn't make a difference. And I know I'm guilty of that a lot in my own life. And that's why I bring this one up. Like, and for me, this comes up a lot when it comes to food or having that extra glass of wine I didn't plan or whatever. This one little extra glass of wine won't matter in the grand scheme of things. And whether that's true or not is really besides the point. We're not really, again, keeping that promise to ourselves when we start to fudge and let these like thoughts come into our brain, because these thoughts lie to us, and then it makes us be more and more willing to sacrifice what we're trying to do. So be really, really, really careful of this won't matter type of thinking. So the next step we have to do is we have to figure out ways to build the habit you want to build and strengthen your routines, Gwen. So here's some action steps you can take. Number one, put it on the calendar. Schedule it like you're going to a business meeting, schedule it like you're going to a doctor's appointment, schedule it like you're meeting your best friend for lunch. Like, put it on the calendar so you know that on Monday at 7 a.m., this is what I'm doing. Or on Tuesday at noon, this is what I'm doing, because our brains like to be organized. We like to know when we're doing things and what we're doing, right? And when we don't calendar it, what happens? It's just willy-nilly. I think I'll work out 3 times this week. And then what happens? It's Friday and you've got 2 days left of the week and you didn't do 3 days. And then our brain says, well, why fucking bother? Because we didn't do the other one. So put it on the calendar. I really, really, really encourage this. And then try as best as you can to be 100% true to your calendar. Even if it's Monday at 7 a.m. and you feel like you don't want to do that walk for 15 minutes and do the strength training for 15 minutes, at least say to yourself, can I just do 5 minutes on a treadmill and 5 minutes of strength training? Number one, more often than not, once you get the momentum going and you got on that treadmill, your brain's going to say, we might as well do the 15 minutes. Number two, you're again telling your brain that when we put something on a calendar, we hold ourselves to our own appointments. We don't easily, just cancel on other people or cancel our doctor appointments or just cancel, whatever, right? So don't cancel yourself. Next, I really like to do things that like habit build in the way of pairing activities, that maybe I don't want to do with things I do like to do, like entertainment. Like, I really love listening to music. I really love binge watching Netflix shows. I really love a crappy, trashy, Real Housewives, whatever. If I'm going to do some of those things, then I'm going to pair it with something I could do, which is also going to be positive. A lot of times when I'm doing the dishes, or cleaning my house, I've got the music blaring. When I want to watch a crappy, mindless TV show, I hop on my walking pad and I'm at least walking, or I'm standing up and I'm doing some squats, or I'm doing some weights. I'm pairing these activities, so this way I'm getting a little joy and a little reward for my action. Also, I think it's really helpful. We talk about this all the time, just having friends, coaches, a peer group, anything, right? Because a lot of times when you are connected with other people who are also trying to achieve their goals, and especially if they're like-minded, if they're all going towards, changing careers, if they're all going towards becoming better parents, or they're all going towards trying to run or exercise, keeping buddies around really helps tremendously when it comes to accountability, when it comes to coming up with fun ideas. I mean, even challenges. Like a lot of times, like I'm in a couple of groups, including from Fat to Finish Line. I think this month, one of our members for February is doing a February challenge, and I think she did a January challenge too. And it's kind of like when everybody's kind of on the same page and checking in and doing a challenge, really helps you go. I also like finish lines and milestones. Sometimes it's very easy, like for me, for running, for example, if I don't have a race scheduled, I'm not as motivated to run. I get a little bored of running. But when I know that I've got a race coming up, and I've got, and again, this kind of goes hand in hand with friends and peer groups. Like when I know I'm going to a race and I've put money down on a race, I am much more motivated to keep going because I have a finish line. I have something in sight that I'm going for. And then, also, if it's not finish line, milestones are great. Like too, like if you're lifting weights, it's like, when do you want to hit this? If you're losing weight, how many pounds do I want to lose by this time? I think it just keeps us activated and moving forward. Again, much like the calendar, we're not just willy-nilly floating in space without an aim or a direction. And rewards. This works for a lot of people. I mean, our brain loves awards, if rewards, awards and rewards, but our brains love rewards. So if that's your thing, I mean, like really like make little rewards, big rewards. Like, and for me, like if I want to have a glass of wine, I'm going to drink all my water first, and that's it. If I want to watch that trashy TV show, like I said, I'll get on my I'll watch it after I get my workout in. So if you set yourself up where that there's a reward at the end of whatever that boring thing is you're doing, you may be a little bit more motivated to do it. Remember that anything in life worth having takes effort, and overcoming boredom is just part of the process. If it was always fun, we'd all be at our goals and would never have any setbacks. And this is 1,000% true. I mean, like I said, we can work on changing our thoughts. We could put in some of these strategies like rewards and building in entertainment and calendaring it and all of those good things. But at the end of the day, sometimes we just have to do it because it's part of life. You know what I mean? We just have to go work. I'm bored at work a lot of times, but we just have to go. I'm bored cleaning the house, but we just have to clean the house, right? So sometimes it's going to be boring, and that's okay too. Anyway, so just, if you want to get more information about me, I'm on Instagram at Genro Coaching. Please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're still in our baby stages here. We're still growing our viewers and subscribers, and it's very exciting. Every single time one new subscriber comes, I'm excited. I read all of your comments, so please definitely leave a comment below. Share what you're going through. Ask your questions. This is what I'm here for. I'm doing this completely free on my free time because I love it and I really do want to help you. So please feel free to email me, DM me, you find me however you want to find me. I'm at genrocoaching@gmail.com. You could drop me a line there if you want to hear more about coaching with me one-on-one, or just to ask a question for this channel, just to say hello. I'd love to hear from you. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for joining us and joining me. Essentially. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.